Hello, you bunch of crazies. Alright, so let's get down to business. What are we doing today? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shrink me into the corner. Goodbye. Poop. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to not be on YouTube. And the third thing we're going to do is go to photography. Now look at numero uno. If we look, we got a lot of stuff that has not been handed in. So like, still waiting for 19 in the minis one. I go to, this was the idea of taking several photos and doing some edits on them. And when you submit them, still missing 18 of them. Then we go to the juggler, which you guys did last week, still missing 20. Then we go to pencils, we're still missing 33. So can you please ensure that this stuff is coming in, because I'm trying to update your grade book and it's hard to assess what I don't have. So please get those done. But today I am adding your newest assignment, and that new assignment is going to be creating a magazine cover which is going to test your photography skills and your Photoshop skills. So come with me on an adventure. First thing I want you to do is we are going to go to, open a new tab here, and I am just going to go to, whoopsies, here, and I'm going to go to magazine cover. So when I go to images here, when you look at these magazine covers, what you're going to be seeing is really something distinct to almost all of them, is you're going to have a very big bold lettering at the top with the title of the magazine, and then a date or month and a volume of issue. Okay, so this here is actually a template you can buy to kind of show you how this works. Now, why I click this one is because this is something that's quite simple for you to do. Okay, but before I break that down, just look. So you always have kind of our center point model, and then we have our main part right here, and then we have our sub-stories on the sides. So let's look at this first. When you look at your photos, okay, all of these people are centered in the magazine, okay, which breaks your general rule of thirds. Now, why do we do that? That is because you need a principal point of focus and the ability to add text all the way around. So that is something you got to understand. When the photo you take, you're going to want to have it break the rule of thirds and be center focused. Okay. Second, let's look at the fonts. The fonts are all big and blocky, with the exception of this one here, but you're going to see that they're all big and blocky fonts. This is to catch the viewer's or the reader's attention. You can't have something that is not going to stand out and catch your eye, that your eye would skip past it. So I want you to keep that in mind. And then third, you have to have some sub-stories. Notice we got little badges and different fonts and texts here. We got this guy drinking G Fuel, whatever that is. We've got some noticeable different colored graphics. Obviously here we have the cross out of men to women. We have kissy neck Justin Bieber. We have a bunch of different things, and we are now opening green screens for some reason. Let's just close that. So as you look at these magazines, I'm going to cut back to this one now and show you why it's a good example. Got our big blocky font, catches your attention, bright color. We have our issue and our volume. Really important, because you need to know which one it is. Could it be the first, the 50th, the 100th, something like that. Now, the image here is super sharp and really clearly in focus, which is really, really good in this scenario. Big eyes on the kid really attract your attention. Those facial features and things are what are going to draw people to you. We have here a button or a badge that is placed and then text layered over top, which I'll talk about in a second. We have some angled text. We have a focus of a theme of red and white, which excuse me, which makes it very easy to follow. And then you don't have to write stories, but they have fictional stories here, like get ready to learn over 100 classroom classes and lessons. You know, page 42. So you're going to have to think about this based on the photo and the magazine you're going to design. You never actually have to write these stories, but you have to make sure that they fit inside your classroom, or inside your, now I'm thinking the magazine, they fit as something that would be in your magazine. So let's say you go and you have someone who does like a hockey pose. You know, you go get a hockey stick and you're like pointing the stick or whatever, and it's like rookie of the year, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't be like, the best vegetables to grow in your garden, because it's a hockey magazine, okay? And the same way you wouldn't have a story about hockey in a gardening magazine. So keep in mind the photo that you choose. It can be people or it can be, you know, architecture. You can take pictures of a building or an empty field and get creative, you know, whatever it is. But the idea is you are going to take a photo to be the principal image for your magazine. When you have it, you're going to upload it to your computer like you have been, and you're going to put it into Photopea. I just grabbed a photo, okay? So I'm going to make this into a magazine to show you how quick and easy it is. But again, quick and easy doesn't mean good quality. So I'm going to show you tips and tricks. You're going to take the time. So one thing you want to do with your image is you want to make sure that the image fits what it is. Move me over here. Look at me. You want to make sure that the image fits the color scheme that you want. So if the image is too bright, you can go ahead and you can go to filters and you can start sharpening. You can add some stylize here. You can add some passes that'll give dark and light. You can render it to give it a lens flare, which is like putting the fake sun. You can add some dust and scratches to make it look old. So you can do a bunch of different things, okay? And then they have their lens correction. There's like, I mean, there's even a gallery of things you can go through, okay? And again, like I'm literally just mucking around. So you can play with all of these till you get the image to what it is you want it to look like, okay? When it's done and it's ready for text, let's watch how easy it is. Follow my arrow down to the left, you're going to see we got a text box. I'm going to click that and I'm going to highlight my area. Now, you want your text to be centered, okay? So I'm going to call this Star Wars Egg. Now, my default is black. Well, that ain't any good, so I'm going to chuck that to white right away, first of all, so I can see. Then I'm going to jack the font right up so that I can actually see it. Now I'm going to stretch. A really simple thing to do is to stretch your text all the way across the screen and give it a center. And then drag it just about to the top. So we're going to go to our transform controls, our transform here, and I'm going to bring that right just below. I don't want it hugging, I want it just below, right there. Now I'm going to go back to my text, and I'm going to double click to highlight it. And I'm going to go here to where it says book. Now this is my font, and I don't really like that, or sorry, this is my extras you can add to the font, okay? This is your font here, and it's got a really nice preview on the side. So I'm just going to do a quick little scroll, and I'm going to snag this one for my Star Wars. And now, based on the font, you can see that I need to make it bigger. So I'm going to make it about that big. I'm going to hit the check mark, super loving it, and then I'm going to just drop it down a touch. So we're going to say that that's the text that I like. Now, Control D, by the way, is a hotkey to deselect things, and Enter when you're using text is your way to get off of it. So if you ever got that weird thing that won't let go, Control D will deselect it. Now, we're going to go to the text, and I need it to stand out more. I want it to look with this lightsaber. So if you double click on it, get over here, there it is. On the right hand side here, you're going to get these options. Now, a good trick is to drag it over to the side, and you've got all kinds of different options to add. I'm going to show you. So the word stroke here is going to add an outer color. Now I'm actually going to want that to be red because I want it to be consistent with the dark red of the theme here. So I go ahead and I do that. Then I'm going to go to Inner Glow. And by the way, you click on the box and then you can adjust it. So you'll watch. I can, make it really stupid or I can make it really faint. So I like 3. And again, if you can't adjust it because you're scatterbrained like me, you can do that. You can make it inside the lettering. You can make it outside the lettering. I prefer outside. Now, here's where you can look and you can be like, I need it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to darken it just a bit. Now, that's too dark, so I'm just going to go normal because it's not fitting quite what I want. Opacity, of course, is how transparent it is. I'm going to go like this. And then, of course, I could click here and switch the color, but I do want the bright red. So then I'm going to go here to Inner Shadow. And I'm going to give the letters just a tiny bit of shadow. And you can see in the letters that shadow's moving. I'm just going to go just like this. And you can see in that box here the preview of where the shadow is. So I'm going to go like that. I like the shadow there. Actually, I don't. I like it a little bit more like this. Perfect. And then you can again create your distance. Obviously putting it too much is going to create a shadow where the letters just like disappear. So I'm just going to give it a 3. Spread it out a little bit. So all of that is good, but now I want an outer glow because I want it to be like the lightsaber. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go on my color gradient all the way up to red. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to make it a little bit noisy. That means it's going to scatter it. I'm going to spread it a little bit. And I'm going to, my gradient, I do not want that. I am going to go to precise. I'm going to spread it, size a little bit, like that. I'm going to switch to a red gradient right there. And I'm going to drop its range. So again, I'm not 100% sure how these will all work, but I'm just playing around with the slides and the features, and this is how you learn. Okay, oop, don't want that. And you can see here that I got a bit of an outer glow. So I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to hit Enter. Go here, and you can see that I've now created kind of the heading of my magazine. Okay, and again, it's just a simple modification. I'm just double clicking on the right hand side. And again, there's so many things. You can apply textures to the word. You can put overlays, gradients on the text. You can give, and I want a drop shadow. Good thing I came back. And I want them to have a drop shadow, but I want the drop shadow, don't want to move my face. I want to just move this. I want, of course, the drop shadow to be down there because the light from the cave is here. I want it to be realistic, so I want the actual shadow to be kind of like this. Spread a little bit more. Size. A little bit there. Good. And okay. So now you can tell, boom, I have created a really nice title for my magazine. Now, it's missing a lot of stuff. So how can we add some more stuff? Let's check it out. Hello. I have been moved into my car in my garage because I was too loud and waking up my children. So, sorry, this is kind of weird, but I'm going to finish this lesson. So, I went and grabbed a lightsaber because I thought that would be pretty good. Just going to pop that in here and I'll show you. So then you got to build the content of your magazine. So I'm going to take my lightsaber, chuck it in the corner, and I'm going to duplicate it. Not background, you silly billies. I'm going to go here. Dang leg. And I am going to duplicate this layer so that I have 2 lightsabers. And I'm going to take this one. And I am going to go Edit, Transform, and Flip horizontally. And I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to adjust the other one so that they're kind of at the same distance. Ish. That's cool. You can use arrows on the keyboard to be real precise. And I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to like that, and I'm going to now highlight these two by shift clicking, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to merge them. Because I want them as one now. Now, I'm going to add some text. So I want a little survey, so I'm going to say, Jedi or Sith. Then I'm going to highlight all of that text, and I'm obviously going to crush the font size, nice and small. And again, you could use whatever font you wanted, of course. And I will make actually this all one. And because I feel strange sitting in my automobile as I do this, I am going to make sure that this layer is above the text of the lightsabers. And I'm going to put it right over top. And I'm going to look, oh, doesn't stand out, so I do the old double click. Giving it the outer edge helps a lot. But now I want it to be black, because that will help it stand out, and I don't want it to look exactly like my title. And giving it the drop shadow will help define it as well. So I am here, boom, Jedi or Sith. I like that text, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to put it below. And I'm going to move it up here just to edit it, because it's a little easier to edit it. Whoopsie doodles, you don't want to stretch that. Grab the text tool, of course. The old double click. And I'm going to put, take the test on page 12. And then I'll lower that. Take this. Shrink it down. And I'm going to go to my text, and I'm going to give it a different font. Mind the leg. Just something simple. Right here. Droid! How ironic. It's called Droid. And then I'm going to take the old move and transform. And I'm going to pop it right there. And I'm going to look, and I'm going to see that I'm starting to piece together my magazine. So again, you can go to Google Images, and you can search like star shape. You can grab one of these, put that into the magazine, okay? Badge. And you get some different badges and symbols you could use. Plunk those and then add your text over top. But going back to Photopea, this is your task. You are to make, I don't even know if you can see me, you are to make your own magazine cover, but you have to take the photo, edit the photo, make sure the photo is tall like this, and what they call a portrait style, not landscape, so up and down, not left to right is the focus. And you are going to create your own magazine cover, complete with making up the stories that would be in it, a couple of the highlights of the stories, okay? Should be a minimum of 3 stories, a nice title, your volume, your issue, your date of publish, those kinds of things. Get creative and have some fun with this. And of course, if you finish early, you have a lot of stuff to do. So, get in there and crush it, my friends. It was good to see you guys last week. Thanks for being super awesome, and keep crushing it. I'm just going to say, crush it one more time. Yeah.